Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about emotional manipulation and emotional blackmail. What is it and how it's used? So we've all heard the term emotional manipulation, but what does it actually look like in real life? Today, I want to break down what emotional manipulation and emotional blackmail are, how they're used, and why we all fall for it. And of course, we're going to look at some current examples of how this plays out in the public eye, like with Gypsy Rose. So, what exactly is emotional manipulation? When someone uses your feelings against you in order to get what they want. That's what emotional manipulation actually is. And when it's used in a covert nature, it's not a direct ask. It's more like a guilt trip, a twisted truth, or pulling of the victim card. So one example could be like, well, if you really loved me, then you wouldn't do that. Or I can never do anything right. You must hate me, or I'm just the worst person in the world. Or they will give you like the silent treatment, or they'll gaslight you, or they will guilt trip you. But the end goal is for the other person to get what they want. And getting what they want can look like lots of things, right? It can mean getting you to make them their dinner, clean their car, pay a bill, feel sorry for them, whatever. But it's using your emotions as a way to get what they want. But manipulation has a darker, more aggressive cousin, and that's where emotional blackmail comes in. So what is emotional blackmail? It is defined as threats wrapped in emotion. So you're going to walk through the cycle, and the cycle is demand, resistance, pressure, threat, compliance, repeat. So as long as the person is complying and giving in to whatever it is that you're giving in to whatever it is that they want, the cycle is going to continue to repeat. So in Gypsy's live, she said something about her wanting to unalive herself. And Ken ultimately was like, let's go to, where'd they go? Austin? Let's go to Austin. Let's go see my mom. So what this could have looked like prior to her getting to go to Austin, it could have looked like her acting like she's been stuck in the house, she's bored, she doesn't have anybody to talk to, she wants to unalive herself, and she's using these small things as a way to emotionally blackmail the other person into feeling bad so then she can get what she wants. And I'm guessing what she wanted at that particular time was to go visit with his mom. There must have been something going on between Ken and his mom. Who knows? But she wanted to go out there, and I'm guessing she wanted to go out there and party or be up close and personal with his mom to kind of, maybe suppress some of the rumors that were going on at that particular time. I can't remember what exactly was going on social media at that point in time. Maybe the emails were just starting to come out. I can't remember. But whatever Gypsy does, it's usually always as a result of like trying to do damage control. And when she uses the emotional manipulation, it is typically because she is trying to do damage control, or she's trying to make everyone feel sorry for her. So some of these examples could be like, if you don't come over right now, I'm going to hurt myself, which is exactly what she said. She said, that she was going to unalive herself. And then her and Ken and the baby decided to go to Austin to get a little bit of a break. So I have a feeling that Gypsy gets very bored with the monotonous day-to-day life. She is constantly looking for ways to feel excited or not bored. Like, she just does not, she's unable to live like a regular day-to-day life without getting bored. And because of that, she is always looking for, like, ways to escape the real life and go into like this fantasy world, because being an adult is very monotonous. Like, we have to do a lot of the same things all the time. Whether that's cleaning house or going to work or doing chores around the house, whatever, it can feel monotonous. And she's not used to that. Why? Because she's used to getting everything that she wants. So she kind of views this everyday routine life as boring. And sometimes it can be, right? But as an adult, I mean, that's just what it is. And Another example is, if you leave me, I'll ruin your reputation. We saw what she did to Ryan. We saw how she tried to literally ruin his life, his name, his image. We saw how she tried to do everything. Don't think for 1 second that she hasn't threatened Ken behind the scenes, that she's going to do the exact same thing to him. She also threatened Christy in an email. She mentioned something about going to TMZ and the headline reading, Gypsy Rose Blanchard's stepmom using her for financial gain or whatever. Like, she threatens people in order to get them to comply, whether that is threatening to do something to hurt them, or possibly now using the baby in that way, or threatening to harm their reputation. And she utilizes the media in order to do that. Uh-oh, hold on. Oh, I'm like, I have my phone right here. Okay. And she utilizes the media in order to do that, because she wants to feel like she has power over everyone else, and that her name carries some sort of weight, right? Her name carries weight, and she can ruin somebody's reputation by making one phone call. And believe me, she has definitely utilized that with both Ryan and Ken. So how does Gypsy use these manipulation tactics in order to get what she wants? So it's not really an attack, right? Because it's covert, it's silent. Sometimes it's hard to tell that it's a threat. So she could, and she does, play the perpetual victim. She's always recentering the narrative so that she never has to really take full accountability for anything that she does. And she weaponizes her trauma. So anytime she's criticized, she can lean on her past to try to silence the criticism. And anytime she goes live claiming that she's going to get raw and real and whatever, it's more of a plea to kind of give her a break, because she's been through so much, right? We should just give her some grace, let her live her life. She wants everybody to leave her alone, but also she wants us to give her grace so that she can live her life. She expects everyone to cater to her all the time. And she utilizes blackmail through loyalty tests. And we saw that with Ryan. We saw that with Nicholas. Because remember, think back to when Nicholas was actually in the McDonald's looking at whatever he was looking at online. That was a loyalty test from GYPSY. How loyal are you to me? Will you do something that you know is inherently seen as not good in public in order to please me? And he ultimately did. He ultimately got in trouble. Prior to that, he had had no interaction with the police at all. And she does this with all of her friends. She did it with Rachel Garlick. She did it with, she does it with Bree all the time. She did it with Ryan. She does it with Ken. It's all about proving loyalty to her. Like the tattoos. Christy got a tattoo. Ryan got a tattoo. Ken got a tattoo. These are all loyalty tests. Are you going to show you are loyal to me by doing this thing that I'm asking you to do, even if you don't want to do it? Right? That is emotional manipulation, emotional blackmail. And she utilizes chaos as control, and she pits people against each other, friends, family, even her audience, so she remains the center of attention. Now, think about how that conversation went whenever Mia, Christy, and GYPSY were all sitting at that table, and how Christy and Mia were arguing, and GYPSY had that smile on her face. Why? Because this is the situation that GYPSY loves. GYPSY loves getting people to argue and debate and really create drama on her behalf, because that's what they were arguing about. They were arguing about her. And that's what she enjoys. She like thrives on that shit. So anytime you see creators going back and forth arguing about GYPSY, that's exactly what she likes. She loves that shit. Why are we falling for it? Not me, but why has a lot of the public fallen for this act of hers? Well, survivors and empaths are the easiest targets. And narcissistic sociopaths like GYPSY Rose, they know that. They prey on people who have sympathy and are empathetic to them, because we're wired to want to fix, to want to help, to want to protect. And she uses that in order to benefit. She's always using everyone else's emotions against them for her own benefit. And that's how emotional manipulation and emotional blackmail shows up in every relationship. So it's not just that I'm talking about this situation with GYPSY Rose. We can apply this to anyone, okay? The only reason why I'm using her as an example is because she is so blatant in her emotional blackmail and manipulation that it's almost appalling that people can't see that that's what's happening, right? It's a little confusing for me. Like, how do you not know that that's what's happening? If she was more covert about it, I think it would be easier to not spot. But because she's so blatantly obvious with it in everything that she does, for me, it's confusing. It's like, how are you not connecting that this is manipulation? This is control. Like, where is your logical, critical thinking mind? Like, turn it on a little bit so that you can see how she's using this to manipulate the audience. And now she's on a bigger scale, right? Like, before it was just local, Springfield, people in New Orleans, like, it was just local. It wasn't nationwide. It wasn't worldwide. Now she is on a worldwide scale, using these same tactics to manipulate and abuse more people. Like, she has access to a lot more people now. So that's why I want to utilize her as an example, so that everybody is able to kind of look at the patterns of behaviors that she's showing, apply it to your own life, and kind of see, where am I spotting this behavior in somebody that I know? Because sometimes it's hard to spot these behaviors with people that are really close to you. Why? Because you want to see the good in people. If you are here, it's because you are an empath like me. You want to see the good in people. You want to give people the benefit of the doubt. But let me tell you, don't. Don't do it. Why? Because people show you who they are. They show you who they are the first time. And the first time you give them the benefit of the doubt, you've fallen for it. You're a sucker. Why? Because they're going to continue to show you who they are. And sometimes they're just not good people. Sometimes they are just not good people unless they truly apologize and then change their actions. That's when you can decipher, is this a good person? Are they trying to take advantage of me? Are they utilizing emotional blackmail, emotional manipulation to continue in this relationship to string me along? Are they changing their behaviors? That's how you know that they are truly sorry for what it is that they have done. They apologize, they take accountability for their actions, and they change the behavior. So maybe give people the benefit of the doubt once. But if they're not being accountable, they're not changing their behaviors, they're not apologizing, don't give them the benefit of the doubt again. Don't allow them to take advantage, use, and abuse you more than once, okay? I've done that my entire life, given people way too many benefits of the doubt, and I lost myself because of it. And we don't want you to lose yourself, so don't give them more than one opportunity. Give them one opportunity, allow them to apologize, take accountability, and change their behavior. If that doesn't happen, see them later. Bye. Don't want to have nothing to do with you anymore. Because you have to protect yourself, right? Nobody's going to protect you. You have to be the one to protect you. And that's what I misunderstood. I misunderstood thinking that because these people were in my life, that they had my best interests in mind for me. No, they don't. Everybody is so self-serving and they are always in it for themselves. So you have to be the one to look out for you, because nobody else out there is going to do it. Nobody out there is going to push you to do the things that you need to do for yourself. So take care of you and prioritize you as number one, and don't allow other people to manipulate and bully you into staying in situations that are unsafe for you and the people around you. So how are we going to spot these behaviors, and how do you protect yourself? So some signs that you are being manipulated are that you feel guilty more than you feel supported when you're around this person. Are you walking on eggshells to avoid upsetting this person? Are you afraid of what their reaction is going to be if you say no? If you can answer yes to all three of those things, then you are being manipulated by that person in some way emotionally. How can you protect yourself if you've answered yes to those three things? Well, the first thing that you have to do is take a step back emotionally before responding. Don't lash out right back at them. Give yourself some time to really think about what's going on so that you can make a calm, logical, rational decision. Set boundaries with this person. And I'll go over how to set boundaries in another video, because a lot of times we don't know. We do not know how to set proper boundaries with the people in our lives because we were never taught. I was not taught how to set a boundary. I don't know how to set a boundary, but I've had to learn how to set boundaries in order to protect myself, because I'm important. I need to protect me. And the best way I can protect me is to create boundaries that protect me from being hurt by the people around me. And lastly, you're going to call out the behavior, not the person, because that's manipulative. You're going to call out the behavior. What we did right here in this video, you're going to say, your behavior patterns are showing me that you are uncaring, unkind, manipulative, harmful, dangerous, whatever. Your behaviors are showing me this. Not that they are that, but that their behaviors are showing you that they don't care, that they're, continuing to lie, that they're being deceitful, whatever it is. We can go over that in another video as well. But emotional manipulation and blackmail, it thrives in silence. That's why it is so important for us to talk about, because the more we talk about it, the harder it is for people to use these tactics unchecked. And that's what GYPSY wants. GYPSY wants people to stop talking about it. Why? Because if we're bringing attention to her behavior and her emotional manipulation and blackmail tactics, the people around her are being able to see those patterns of behaviors, and they're able to recognize, wow, maybe they are right. Maybe what they're saying is actually true. Maybe she really is doing all of these things, right? And that's what we want. We want people to be aware of the patterns of behaviors so that they know that they are powerful enough to say, wow, this person is using these tactics and I feel like I can't say no to them. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. They're always giving me the silent treatment if they don't get what they want. That gives them the self-awareness to say, hey, maybe I don't want to be around this person because they're not really changing. They're not really showing that they're a good person or a safe person to be around. Let me know in the comments if you've ever dealt with this in your own life. I know I have, and I went over, well, I actually didn't go over any examples of how it's showed up in my life, but I will give one. Both of my children's father is the same person, and he and I were in a relationship. It was a very religious relationship, and when I got to the point that I didn't really trust the church that we were going to, I didn't really trust the information in the Bible, I kind of wanted to take a step back away from the church and the religion and all of that. I was given the silent treatment if I didn't get up and go to church. It would be like 4 or 5 days of just absolutely no talking, no communication. Why? Because that person was upset that I didn't conform and do what they wanted me to do. So this can look like a lot of different things, but I'm just giving you, that was a pretty extreme example, in my opinion, of emotional manipulation and emotional blackmail. Like, the point of that was to say, if you don't come with me next time, this is going to be a repeated pattern, right? And nobody wants to live in their house and not be in communication with the people that live in the house as well, especially your own spouse. So it can feel a little manipulative, like, do what I say or we're not going to communicate. You see what I'm saying? So if you've spotted it in GYPSY Rose, also let me know down in the comments, because I may not have seen all of the things that you might have seen. And going into the comments helps me create more content for future. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I forgot to bring up. Sometimes manipulation can feel like intimacy. It feels like connection. GYPSY, she benefits from these parasocial relationships, and because people project their own wounds onto her story. Like, they're seeing the victim inside themselves in her, and she has become some sort of a symbol of survivor, and that's how she's able to weaponize her trauma and utilize it for her own benefit, even though she doesn't really have trauma. All right, you guys, I think that's everything. I don't think I have any more notes. And if this video gave you some clarity, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it, because we don't know what we don't know. And I didn't know that I was being emotionally manipulated, emotionally blackmailed. I didn't know how to set proper boundaries until I learned how to do it for myself. So if those are the things that you are struggling with, we can all help one another. And I can go over in another video how we can set proper boundaries with the people in our lives, especially our loved ones, because it's the toughest to set boundaries with the people that we love. Why? Because we feel bad when we tell them no for some reason. We feel like we need to please everybody. But essentially, when you are trying to please other people, you are abandoning yourself. So make sure that you are not abandoning yourself by putting yourself first. It is okay for your wants, needs, and desires to come first over others. I love you guys so much. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.